Hi, folks, and thanks for viewing this Netfoundry tech session. My name is Skip Barr, and I'm a pre-sales systems engineer with Netfoundry. Today, we'll be covering a demo of multi-cloud implementation and the developer app WAN, which is specifically designed to help developers create what we call app WANs to administer cloud-based applications. We'll dig into this in a minute, but first, let's review the solution and bring some perspective to some of the concepts. Referencing the diagram on the left, you can see a multi-cloud solution connecting various environments, including IT applications, web applications, analytics engines, and even users via the Netfoundry network in the middle. We'll show you how to connect elements of each group to one another in a single pane of glass while also providing a simple-to-use interface and a zero-trust security model. So what is Netfoundry, and more specifically, App WAN? Netfoundry is a leader in application-specific networking. We provide connectivity at scale without the constraints and pain of static VPNs or the burden of hardware and private circuits. Our solution stands on 4 pillars. First being agility. Netfoundry provides the ability to instantly spin up and rapidly scale software-only private networks across the internet and cloud-native endpoints. Second being security. Our zero-trust network overlays across any set of WANs, internets, and clouds, while getting app-level micro-segmentation and endpoint security. Thirdly, applications access Netfoundry's managed network from any internet and is dynamically routed for minimal latency, jitter, and packet loss. So users generally see 3 times throughput of leading VPNs. And finally, simplicity. Netfoundry manages the underlying infrastructure as a SaaS, so you can spin up global connectivity without building or managing underlying infrastructure. So what's an app WAN? It's software-defined encrypted overlays created using our web console or APIs that define how endpoints are permitted to access services, such as applications across the internet and/or existing private networks like MPLS. An administrator would use the Netfoundry's web-based orchestration console and/or APIs to design and instantly deploy cloud-native application-specific networks. An app WAN is created when an endpoint or group of endpoints is assigned permission to access a set of services or applications. For today's demo, our solution will showcase our ability to connect one developer, that'll be the one right here on top, the person on the left, kind of a remote Netfoundry client, into 2 separate public clouds. Additionally, we will make a unidirectional connection from AWS to the Azure Redmine server, represented by the purple line. The developer clients over here, you can have any number of them. They can be located behind anywhere using a broadband connection. So let's consider more closely the diagram on the right and explore a potential solution where a developer requires access to a pair of recently migrated applications, the Redmine server in Azure or the AWS resource as well. For this demo, the gateways have already been installed at each location in Azure private VNet and in Azure AWS private VPC. All user-defined routing within the cloud provider for each cloud provider has been set up, and associated security groups have been granted appropriate permissions for ports 80. We will install our client software, which behaves in a roaming capacity, assuming no firewalls prevent connections from occurring. Now, as far as the application is concerned, our primary application is a Redmine server located in Azure, and it exposes an HTTP and API interface on port 80, and is in a private VNet, 192.168.77.0/24, with an IP address of 192.168.77.5. Our second server is in a private VPC in Amazon, and the private VPC network is 172.33253.0/24 with an address of 172.33253.40. My computer from my PC is the one using the blue line connecting into Amazon, and the red line into Azure. Is also on a private network of 192.168.195.0/24. So keep in mind, all traffic to each of these connections All traffic defined in our app WAN is the only traffic to travel on the NetFoundry overlay network. All other traffic will be directed by our standard routing and firewall mechanisms. What we're going to do is we're going to create two app WANs. One will provide the connectivity to the Redmine server, and for the AWS to the Redmine server. And one will give me the connectivity, app WAN will give me connectivity to the Amazon server, indicated by the blue line. So how will we prove this connectivity? Well, we can look really closely, or we can get into a command line right here. I'll bring up my Azure command line. This is right from my PC right now. And I will curl 192.168.77.5. No, obviously can't do that. Can't get out to the world with private address space. And then I have my Amazon over here. This is the .40 web server right here. And you cannot get to them either. Good. So at the end of this, what I should be able to do is curl the Redmine server and access it via a web page. And I can also hit an API or curl the web page from a command line. All right, so let's log into the console and get started. If this is your first time joining us or opening a console, you'll notice we have, if you want to get started, you can hit the Get Started up here. You can set up a vanity URL. You'll be able to get a free 30-day trial, which does start upon successful registration. So keep that in mind when you want to take advantage of a free trial. I'll be using my site called Multi-Cloud. That brings us right in here. And in order to get started, the first thing you have to do is create a network. I already have a network created, but it's kind of broken down into left pane of some of the elements of the console, and then in the admin side of it, it's over here. So you manage organization, right in here, and manage networks. I have one, it's called DevOps Network, represented up here as well. You can add it from there, or you can add it right here. Add a network. I don't need to create it. It's already in place. So I just want to show you how to do that. So I have my two gateways that were already pre-installed. And these two, I have one in Amazon, one in NetFoundry. Perhaps the cloud administrator stood them up as part of the overall solution as far as the migration and then the long-term DevOps connectivity options, or any type of WAN connectivity into the cloud and or out of the cloud. So those two guys are already up and running, and they are registered. And I'll go kind of through some of the other steps as well. So first of all, let's look at our app WAN. App WAN, nothing in here. We have services, we have nothing there. We have no clients, no real method to download or make any connections. So what we want to use is we want to have an app WAN, and developer might come in, say, hey, I'm a developer, I want to develop our app WAN. Let's create this, let's call it something. Let's call it DevOps app WAN. Good. We'll select existing gateway, which is going to be our Azure. That's where it's hosted, the Redmine server. And we want to expose a single IP address and a single port, nothing else. If I had 10 other servers in there, you couldn't get at them. Unless I exposed them via a network. You could put a network address in here, and this would expose all networks or to the app WAN. And I have to put a .5 here. Good. All right, who do I want to connect to it? I want to add somebody. I'll add myself. I'm in the East. That adds my client. I could add anyone. Test remote user. US South. Done. Good. So what else do I want to create there? I want to also make the Azure resource, Redmine server, available to my Amazon resources. So I'll make that gateway. Whatever's behind that gateway also will have access to this server in Azure. And I'll create the app WAN. This is you know, it takes a minute or two, but what it's essentially doing is being created, and it's creating the service for the Redmine server. It's creating the app WAN itself. We don't have any groups that we're creating, but we are verifying our gateways, making sure that they're in place and registered, and we're all wrapped up here. So we see we have the app WAN, DevOps app WAN has been created. And here's the gateway it's using. It's using the Azure gateway. Here's the IP, the port, and the label. So I can also take this moment to email a copy of the registration. So when I install my client, I have the key. And hit that, and that'll send me an email. And I also have given access to this app, DevOps app WAN, to the AWS Net Foundry gateway. All these keys I can find in this console as well. I don't have to look in my email. So I can go over here and go to clients, and I can see my clients. I have skip 12G and the test remote user. I have that client right here. I have this key, and I will copy it. So in order to get that client, you will have to go to Downloads, Net Foundry Downloads, and that will be right here. And you can download all of our products. You can download our clients for the remote PCs or Apple, and you can get all our gateway software for the on-prem type of solution with ESX or Azure, Hyper-V, KVM, OVAs for virtual boxes, all of the above there. So once you get that going, and I have that already going right now, so we'll bring that back. Let's see here. I've already downloaded. I got the install going through, so I agree to the terms here. I've had a configuration in the past, so I'll just hit yes here. And I'll grab my client key from here, and I will install. So now the software is going through its it's going through its final registration. I'll kind of show you what's happened. So our app WAN is fully created. It has who can talk to it, the AWS Net Foundry gateway, skip 12G, which is my host, and the test remote user we're not going to use, but he would have access to it. And he has access to this network over here. Here's the service that's been created. Okay. Service just looks like that. Simple protocol, intercept our IP address and port. And then we have, let's go back in. We have to create the other app WAN. We need to get access to our Amazon. So we'll call this Frankfurt Web app WAN. And then we'll go to select existing gateway. We'll go to AWS. How do you want to connect to it? We'll go to 172.33.253.40 or 80, which is our address from our diagram right here. This has our client has registered, so it has finished its installation. Let's go back to this page. Okay. We're going to do TCP UDP again. And who do you want to connect to it? Now this one, I just want myself. I'm not going to let Azure talk to Amazon. It's a one-way relationship. So I'm going to let my client only. It'll take a few moments. While that's getting created, we'll go take a look at our client. Our client is on, as referenced here. It's registered on the network right here. And services. We've been granted a service. Access to a service. That service is 192.168.77.5. So that being said, I can probably come right over here. No. It has to be a web interface. There it is. Sign in. There. That's good. So we don't need to use PowerShell for that. And okay, so now we have, we should probably be able to get access to our next app WAN, which is to the Frankfurt Web App WAN, 172.33.243.40. Let's copy that. I've been granted access to that, and I can verify that through this right here. There it is. So then I plug this in. We'll go right here. Net Foundry Hello World. You spun up a network. So this connected 2 private islands to my workstation for only a single port and a single IP address on this. Now let's test and see if this web server that's serving Hello World in Amazon has access to 192.168.77.5. Yeah, so that's the web page it's serving. Now, if I wanted to do an API get, I can go do a curl. Oops. Okay, and we'll put this in here. Curl it. We do application JSON. There's my key, and that's to the one. And we'll list all my projects in the Redmine. There. And these are my projects right here. App WAN for DevOps, DevOps demo, IoT demo, Linux manuals, Net Foundry API DevOps projects, Net Foundry solutions, operations documentation, and so on. So the better part of 10 or 15 minutes, we've been able to connect 3 private islands for certain different use cases involving single IPs. It could be multiple IPs, but that's kind of how you would do a developer app WAN in a nutshell through our console and over the Net Foundry network. Thanks for taking a peek, and let me know if I can help you. My email address is skip.bar@netfoundry.io. Take care.